Okay, this is a moody day over here. So we are going to talk about consumption. We're going to talk about emotional digestion. We're going to talk about Sky Daddy, obviously, connection. I've got thoughts for you. So the first thing that I want to mention is about consuming. So again, even though I'm about to go into the Apex protocol, which is a 6-week consumption fast fully, the main thing or the main reason why it impacts your emotional digestion, and what I mean by that is how fast you move through negative frequencies. So Apex is designed to expedite that process in large part. That's why there's a whole bunch of pillars that we go through during the prep call where I explain, like, this has to be done. This has to be done every day. This has to be done every day. And the reason being is it directly impacts how quickly you digest emotion. And when you're consuming, the reason why this interrupts it is that consumption acts as a numbing agent. If you listen to my numbing podcast, I go in depth on this. And the thing is, numbing is neutral, but it's not helpful when it comes to construction and creation. So it's like the good news is it's numbing. The bad news is it's numbing. And so what can end up happening is your energy falls into suspension. So it doesn't necessarily gain a whole bunch of momentum or start going in directions that are more favorable, but it also doesn't fully recalibrate the issue either. So on one hand, consumption or numbing in general is something that can be beneficial to temporarily take your mind off of something, but understand that when you return to the issue, you haven't readjusted that for it to move into higher ground. So it's the whole principle of it's going to be where you last left it. That's how issues are essentially going to be, or emotional states. When you drift back to that thing, it's going to reactivate wherever you last left it, right? So that's what consumption has a tendency to do. It will temporarily numb things, but it will not recalibrate things. Now, recalibration is essentially continual connection, right? So if you watch Seven Deadly Shadows, you know, the number one shadow is disconnection. That is kind of like the bread and butter of shadow. So if you are not continually going back to the well of connection over and over and over and over, the perspective of your higher self, God, your spirit, divine source, whatever you like to work with, won't hold over time. So the goal is for you to be infused with that divine perspective continually, again and again and again. And this is not something that you're going to do 24/7. You're going to slip. There's going to be things, there's going to be bad days, all sorts of human stuff that you have going on. But the goal is I want to access these thought forms and these perspectives so consistently that they hold. This is why there's a 6-week consumption fast in Apex, is because everything about Apex is designed to continually bring you back to connection over and over and over. Because what happens is then when you do have human stuff going on, it brings you back around to all of these different activities that are meant to get you into connection. So the thing that I noticed most during the last round of Apex was how quick I bounced back, because there was no consumption. So that issue didn't stay in suspension. It didn't hold for an indefinite amount of time. It was, there would be a problem, there would be a bad day, there would be an issue. And then instead of it taking me a week, it took me 12 hours. Instead of this spoiling my day, it's something that I'm able to move through in one practice. And this is the type of consistency that is held throughout Apex. So that is the biggest functionality of the consumption fast. And then the way the protocol is designed, so all of the other pieces that I have lined up when we do the prep call, when I tell you what is most important, what it is that you're going to be doing, the things that are most important to you, how those practices are going to look. We go in depth during that prep call because it is the nitty-gritty details of like, what should I consume? What should I fast from? How much of this is okay? How much isn't? Is the bulk of where the questions for people come from. So we spend a couple hours together just going over all of that so you're well prepared, well equipped for the 2 months that we spend together. And what else do I want to say about this? We talked about numbing. Oh, the other thing that I want to add about that is that numbing isn't, as I said, it's neutral. It's not bad. However, numbing is slow. So there is a function to numbing. I talked all about that. There's utility for it, but by no means would I put that in the category of helping you become more efficient or go faster or anything like that. In order to go fast, that is where you would want to just get yourself into that state of connection quickly. And the other thing that I want to mention about consumption is there are certain things that are still allowed. However, it's about boundaries. So for example, there are parameters around books, both the type and the duration per day. So there's all sorts of different boundaries that I give you ahead of time. So there's no question. There's no guesswork. There will be a little bit of experimentation during that first week so that you can feel what's happening internally, but it is mapped out fully. So anything else? Any final thoughts? Message me or email me. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you're more than welcome to drop a comment, or you can email hello@onyxhealing.com. The link will be in the description box. If you're watching this on Instagram, the applications for Apex are in my bio. We start October 1st, and the cutoff date for applications is September 30th, or until all seats are full. So whichever one happens first is when the container closes. Anything else? Anything else? Drop your comments or drop your questions in the comment section if you have any. And connection to God, source, higher self, whatever you work with, is the medicine for emotional digestion and the perspective that is going to get you to where you want to go fastest. That is the theme here, is that if you want to go fast, you want to connect to that perspective quickly. Because if you're continually connecting to the old thought forms, I am guilty of this. I feel like everyone is guilty of this. That is what you want to shake loose within you in order to go faster. And that is what we will be spending a whole bunch of time doing together in Apex. So get in, it's going to be a blast.